I get one specific question a lot. What is the first camera that I should buy? And to be honest with you, if you're going to be serious about taking photos, I have 5 and only 5 that I recommend. Number 1 is the Canon 5D Mark III. And yes, it is a DSLR. Yes, it is older. No, it does not record 6K log, etc. You're here for photos. Let's stick on that. You can't really get any better for a camera to learn on as a beginning photographer. Just to get everything out of the way, it holds an SD card, holds a CFast card, the battery lasts all day, the ergonomics are fantastic, it's weather sealed, it's rugged, and the lenses you can get for it, including Canon's amazing L glass lenses and the Sigma REF lenses for it. You can get those for hella cheap now, especially compared to their mirrorless counterparts. But the reason I recommend this camera is specifically because this is the best camera to learn digital photography on and prepare yourself if you want to shoot film photography later on. There are 3 reasons why this is true, and I'll run through them really quickly. Number 1, the EF lenses can be used on Canon EF mount film cameras, so they're kind of interchangeable. If you want to go with the Canon, like, I don't know, the EOS 3 route or the 1N or the 1VN or whatever it is route, that is something that is possible. Number 2 is the fact that in DSLR cameras, one of my favorite things about them, the reason why I tell people that they should learn on DSLR cameras, is it's not like a mirrorless whenever you're looking through the viewfinder. You're not seeing an EVF, electronic viewfinder, that shows you what everything looks like with your settings changed. You can actually learn your exposure triangle. You're looking through the OVF, everything's always gonna look great. But once you take the photo and you review your image, if you're not on auto, you'll be able to see every mistake that you made. Is the image too blurry because your shutter speed wasn't high enough? Is it too grainy because your ISO was cranked? Is it too dark? Is it too bright? Is it overexposed, etc.? Because not until after you see the image do you get to actually see what the final result will look like. And there are so many people that advocate for film photography because it gets you the exact same feeling of you take the photo and then you find out later if you did things right, but this is more instantaneous and you can learn almost immediately. And once you're able to start making consistent images on DSLR where you're able to read the light meter correctly, expose correctly, even just by knowing what in the situation the ISO should be, the shutter speed should be, the aperture should be, going to film is absolutely easy. It's one of the cheat codes, in my opinion, for if you want to eventually get into film, and specifically larger format film that may not have all the bells and whistles of a small Canon AE1 or you know, a Contax TR or whatever it is, where it has auto or it has these nice meters built in. A DSLR is honestly a great way to learn with baptism by fire, trial by error, and get things right. I think is that 3? Did I say 3 or 2 things? Just in case, the bonus is that these things are indestructible. Like, honestly, Canon and Nikon DSLR bodies, just chef's kiss. It'll last you forever. Camera number 2, Fujifilm's XH1. It's not my number 1 most referred camera, but this is my favorite camera on this list. Reasons why this is my favorite camera: number 1, it has the best images, in my opinion, out of any of these cameras, as far as the way the sensor looks, the way highlights are controlled on this. I mean, it is, when you talk about, I don't want to say filmic, but when you want to talk about a nice natural feeling image, this and the Nikon DF are 2 of my favorite cameras of all time from the digital realm. 24 megapixels is fantastic. It does have 8-bit log, which is more than good enough for a majority of people starting out. But man, the files out of this are absolutely amazing. You can get this camera with a body with a couple of batteries for, I've seen as low as $400 and right now hovering around $600. The grip is amazing. The shutter was so soft and fantastic that now Fujifilm puts it in all of its top of the line cameras. That soft shutter release is beautiful. It is the best body, in my opinion, Fujifilm has ever made. And honestly, the only reason why it got panned was because the X-T3 with the 10-bit internal log footage was released like 6 months afterwards, and so no one really leaned in the XH1. But it's perfect, it's weather sealed, it's rugged, it's almost indestructible, and when you pair it with longer glass, if you're doing anything, you know, like any kind of sports shooting, any kind of wildlife, any kind of landscape, it fits perfectly. But the sleeper reason why I like this camera so much is the fact that you get to pair it with Fujifilm's fantastic lenses all across the range. Fujifilm has some of the best third-party lenses specifically because of Viltrox, and you get to pair Viltrox's Pro line of their 75mm, their 27mm, their 13mm, whatever millimeter, their 56 I think they're dropping, it doesn't matter. Viltrox's lenses are amazing, and pairing those with the XH1, balance is right, the body just fits, and everything's perfect. That's my recommendation for you if you're a new photographer. But Fujifilm has a lot of budget lenses that you can get into that are first party, that are weather sealed, and they're still going to make your images fantastic. We had Canon 5D Mark III, which is a full frame camera. Forgot to mention that. Full frame, you get all the full frame benefits, etc. We have Fujifilm's XH1, which is an APS-C camera, but all the benefits from that camera right there, especially with the video side. Now we're going to another full frame camera that a lot of people hated on whenever it came out, and I have still been defending it because the images are just fantastic, and that is the Nikon Z5. And if you're someone who's going to be doing any traveling, wants to do some portraiture, etc., and get started out in that range, that's what I'm going to recommend. You get a full frame camera that is a nice body, that is small, that is compact, the ergonomics are great, and more importantly, Nikon has some great glass and the Z5 has an amazing sensor. The camera feels great, the price is right. I've seen this as low as about $500, $600 for a full frame mirrorless camera. Z5 is a good camera, not the best camera, not the greatest camera, but for a beginner, it's an excellent camera because you're able to get yourself into the mirrorless camera game with mirrorless camera lenses. And more importantly, Nikon's Z mount is fantastic because you can adapt Sony FE lenses to it.
This is a certified hood classic.
So you can take Sony mirrorless lenses like their famous 55mm 1.8 from Zeiss, which I think is the best portrait lens of all time, and you can adapt that onto Nikon's camera. So that means anything that you have with a Sony EF lens, some G Masters, whatever, you can spend $500, $600 on the Nikon Z5 and then splurge on some Z Master lenses that fit your body a little bit more if you don't like what you're getting from Nikon, and it completely opens you up. Again, you're saving money on the body to be able to splurge on the lenses. That's a win to me, and the sensor's fantastic, and the price is right, and it looks kind of cool. Number 4 on my list is the Pentax KP. Now we're back to an APS-C size sensor, and it's a DSLR, and it has many of, if not all of, the exact same benefits of the Canon 5D Mark III. But what I really love about this camera, why it comes in at number 4, is again, we're talking about lenses. Pentax has some of the best lenses with some of the best micro contrast, with some of the best color fidelity of anyone in the game. And again, you're able to learn a lot of the basics and things like that. And for 250 quid or 280, 290, whatever the exchange rate is, that's a pretty good deal to me. And remember, whenever you're starting in photography, it's not about amassing all of the best gear ever. It's about, number 1, finding out if you actually like photography and you want to continue to do this. And number 2, learning how to take great images. And the Pentax KP is a fantastic camera to learn how to make great images with. Finally, to round out this list is a camera that every time I mention it, people kind of raise an eyebrow, go bonkers. Why would you recommend that camera? Why not an XT3 or an XT whatever? It's the Canon EOS RP. Now, when the Canon EOS RP was released, it was released around the same time as the Canon EOS R, as like a, you know, red-headed stepchild, as the kids would say, meaning it didn't get the love or the accolades that the Canon EOS R was getting. It has a 22 megapixel sensor. The video isn't really that great, and you know, it's a small, clunky little guy with a small battery, but the images are great, and more importantly, it allows you to get into the Canon RF mount, which, again, if you're starting, hear me out, Canon's own entry-level prime budget lenses are absolutely a steal for the price. They're 16mm, they're 28mm, I think even they're 24mm, they're 35mm image stabilized, they're 50, they're 85mm f2. All of those lenses right now on Marketplace, on, you know, even sometimes on MPB, on B&H, on KEH, depending on what Fred Miranda, even I've seen people sell a set of them, 3 of those lenses for $500 total. You can get them for cheap. You can get the EOS RP for about $500, $600, and then you can get yourself the nifty 50 for $99. You can get yourself the 16mm for $200. You can get yourself that 85mm for $350. For under $1,000, you can get a body and 3 fantastic lenses that no one, if you show your images and they're composed right and they're good, is going to shake a stick at or say they're not great. They're probably going to assume they were made on a more expensive Canon camera. And that's why I made the list in this way. Listen, I could have said a Sony a7 III. I could have talked to you about the X100 line. I could have told you about the Ricoh GR and told you about, oh, you know, the best camera is a camera you take anywhere. But whenever it comes to actually learning photography and learning if you like photography and want to lean into it, depending on what you're leaning into, an interchangeable lens system, in my opinion, is most important. You can always find pancake lenses. You can always adapt vintage glass, but having a body that you're going to be able to grow with through the first few years while you're saving up money to purchase the good glass, or being able to immediately purchase good glass, is going to make things better. If you can save money by buying a budget body and then purchase yourself a really nice piece of glass, a really nice lens, I'm telling you, that is going to take your photography to a whole other level. Being able to have images that are sharp, that are crisp, the contrast is great, the color is great, you get images with that nice bokeh, or your stop down images are going to be nice and sharp across the frame. That is going to be more enjoyable than a little pocket point and shoot that maybe doesn't always fit in your lifestyle. You can't always see the screen, or the image quality isn't that great. Make sure you are investing in glass. Glass is so important to having good images and to making sure you're actually enjoying the photography you're doing. And to do that, getting one of these cameras I think is a great decision. If you're wanting to eventually get into film, check out some of these DSLR bodies because, again, interchangeable with some of their film camera counterparts. And more importantly than that, if you're looking to get into the mirrorless camera game, check out the 3 cameras I mentioned to see if that fits in your camera lifestyle plan. If you know you're going to be traveling, if you know you're going to be outdoors and things like that, check out that Fujifilm XH1 for its weather sealing. If you're looking for something small and compact and you're able to pair up with all these different lenses or save some money on some lenses, look at the EOS RP and look at the Nikon Z5. With all that being said, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. Remember to take it light, but take it, guys, and have a good one.